Modern Tokyo is defined by its density. In districts like Harajuku, the environment is a concentrated grid of neon lights, towering commercial architecture, and massive, trend-obsessed crowds. But step just a few feet away from that grid, and the city drops off into a 70-hectare dark green void. Looking at this dense canopy, you might assume it is an ancient, untouched woodland that the modern cities simply grew around. In reality, it was built from scratch in 1920. It is a sanctuary constructed to honor Emperor Meiji, the leader who dismantled Japan's centuries of feudal isolation and oversaw the country's rapid adoption of global modernization. It also honors his partner, Empress Shoken. She pioneered the nation's early social welfare and Red Cross systems, actively integrating foreign customs and Western dress into the imperial court. Stepping off the street and onto the gravel is the first stage of a transition, a move away from the city toward a space built to contrast everything outside its borders. The shift begins underfoot. Paved city asphalt immediately gives way to a wide, crushed gravel path. The gravel is laid specifically to absorb the noise of the city and signal a change in pace. Then you encounter the torii. Standing 12 meters high and constructed from 1,500-year-old Taiwanese cypress, these unpainted wooden pillars mark the physical entrance to the forest. In Shinto practice, a torii acts as an active, functioning threshold. It divides the ordinary human world from the realm of the kami, or deities. Crossing that threshold requires acknowledgement. Visitors are expected to pause, remove their hats, and bow deeply to the resident spirits before stepping underneath the wood. The approach to the shrine takes time. It requires a deliberate 10-minute walk through the trees, a duration that allows the city's frantic energy to fade before the main sanctuary comes into view. Walking under this canopy, the environment feels entirely primeval, yet this entire forest is a highly engineered botanical illusion. Following the emperor's death, this site was nothing but a flat, barren military parade ground. To build the sanctuary, volunteers hand-planted over 100,000 trees donated from every corner of the country. This timeline illustrates the botanical master plan designed to create a self-sustaining ecosystem over a century. They planted fast-growing trees for immediate shade, shielding slower-growing evergreens that eventually overtook the canopy to dominate the forest today. The ecosystem itself acts as the primary monument to the emperor. There are no massive stone statues. Instead, the living, breathing forest serves as a permanent, eternal offering. Deep along the approach, the path is flanked by a massive wall of kazaridaru, decorative, straw-covered sake barrels donated annually by brewers across Japan. Sacred sake, known as omiki, serves a functional spiritual purpose. It is consumed during festivals and rituals as a bridge connecting human worshippers to the kami. Directly opposite the traditional sake sits an unexpected offering, rows of French Burgundy wine casks, neatly housed inside a traditional Japanese wooden rack. Emperor Meiji had a recognized fondness for Western culture and goods. These wine barrels physically represent his mandate to integrate overseas influence with Japanese tradition. Steps away from these barrels is the temizuya, a water basin where visitors wash their hands and mouths. This meticulous cleansing removes physical and spiritual impurities before approaching the gods. Lined with Western wine and Eastern sake and ancient water purification, it captures the Meiji philosophy, adopting global modernity while preserving the sacred Japanese soul. After passing through the final gates, the dense forest suddenly breaks open into a vast, gravel-lined plaza housing the primary sanctuary. The structures are built in the Nagare-zukuri architectural style, recognizable by their elegantly sloping copper roofs and the extensive use of raw cypress wood. Following Shinto principles of natural purity and humility, the wood is entirely unpainted. This ensures the buildings do not overpower the landscape, but blend harmoniously into the surrounding forest. At the main hall, visitors engage in a specific mechanical prayer sequence. They toss a coin into the offering box, bow deeply twice, clap twice, offer a silent prayer, and finish with one final deep bow. Over 3 million people make the journey to perform this exact sequence during the first 3 days of the new year alone, an immense gathering known as Hatsumode. The architecture here avoids ostentatious displays of wealth or dominance. It functions quietly as a humble, harmonious vessel for active devotion. Outside of the massive New Year's crowds, the shrine's daily rhythm is marked by quiet intimacy, often serving as the venue for traditional Shinto weddings. These processions are deeply solemn. Two families unite under a red umbrella, crossing the courtyard in total silence, led by Shinto priests and shrine maidens. Around the plaza edges, individuals write their wishes and expressions of gratitude on wooden ema tablets, leaving a physical piece of their intent hanging within the sanctuary. Meiji Jingu operates as an active, vital spiritual anchor for modern Tokyoites, seeking a direct, daily connection to their ancestry. As you turn your back to the main hall and re-enter the deep tree canopy, the sensory isolation of the forest returns. As the path returns to the city gates, the urban noise gradually returns, but the forest remains behind, serving as a permanent anchor between the modern capital and the spirits of its founders.